Hello everyone, welcome to the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater review. I've been trying to get this one out for a few months now. Just ran into some time constraints and troubles. Though, enjoy this edit that I made right before when I was starting to edit this video together.
What do you say? One last trip around the neighborhood. Winner takes the tape.
Wizard Money Gang. We love casting spell. This shit kills my high!
No!
It is a collage of garbage. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's get on with the review. Alright, most of y'all will probably know the history at this point. Everyone knows the history at this point. Neversoft got assigned by Activision to make Apocalypse. Apocalypse slowly, after Apocalypse was made, they started turning that into the Pro Skater engine because they wanted to make a skating. They were assigned to make a skating game, or they wanted to make a skating game. I don't remember exactly, but anyways. Bruce Willis on a skateboard. The first demo gets sent to Tony Hawk. He likes it. He wants to be on it. And they keep sending him the copy back, like the demos back. He gives them tips and tricks on how to actually make it more realistic to real world skating. Ironically, though, this is the arcadey franchise. Anyways, so yeah. That's sort of it for the backstory of this. You can watch any other review if you want a more in-depth look at it. So booting into the start menu, you get this funky main menu music, and obviously you just go to career mode, select whatever pro you want to play as. Personally, I prefer to play as Chad Muska whenever I'm doing a fresh playthrough, as he has the most balanced, well, in my opinion, most balanced stats. So it's easy to get a grip of this. Well, I mean, Pro Skater 1's kind of clunky, especially if you're coming from, like, say, Underground 1 or something like that, where it's really smooth and all the gameplay is, like, figured out and already. Like, if you want to go back to the earlier stuff, I would recommend, and you can't handle, like, clunky controls, I would recommend going back to, like, Pro Skater 2X, because that has the original campaign and Pro Skater 2's campaign within it. Then on the character selection screen, you can select what color wheels you want, how loose or tight your trucks are, and you can select a deck, which you unlock more of those throughout the game. And then we get on to the first level, Warehouse. It's a pretty decent starting level. I mean, there is a reason why they brought it back in Thug 2 as a tutorial level. Granted, that one's a bit more expanded than, like, the one you see here. Pretty decent, like, level. You just crash through the glass, go down the ramp. The rails there that teach you how to grind. There's a bunch of quarter pipes in there, and in Pro Skater 2, or not Pro Skater 2, Thug 2, and like that flat area with the two half pipe ramps, they turn that into a bowl, which can teach you how to do vert tricks, at least in like a bowl setting, compared to the like the quarter pipe that you see above where that VHS tape goal is with the I'm trying to think of what you would call it. I'm not too sure. It's just like the quarter pipe, there's like that box sort of thing with the glass in it where the VHS tape is. The bowl in like Thug 2 is way better at teaching you vert than that. But granted, the quarter pipe is more fitting for the Pro Skater 1 sort of aesthetic. And plus, they probably weren't thinking about bowls at this point until like Pro Skater 3 is when you really start seeing that. I mean, School 1 has a bowl sort of thing, but it's still not like a proper like pool. But yeah, an overall decent starting level. You can get your bearings very easily in this level. Meanwhile, like other levels, like sort of act as a tutorial as well, because like School 1 has a lot of verticality, and the mall can like teaches you how to go from like big airs to grinds pretty easily. And then we get on to School 1. I don't know why I fucking introed it like that. Anyways, Yeah, pretty good level for verticality, at least around that starting area, because you can go up on the top. Like, you start on the awning. Is that what they're called? I think. But you start on that awning sort of thing. You jump down, and that like first area has the rooftop area as well with the secret grind and stuff like that. And then you have the lower area, which it has a bunch of ramps. It has a bunch of ramps. You have some of the picnic tables down there. There's even a texture on the little wall that is in like no other version, because like Pro Skater 1 and 2 have a bunch of exclusive textures to their original releases, where it's Suicidal Tendencies album Freedom's cover art all like plastered on it. It's just the same square texture. And then you go from there. There's this long, like, sort of not snake, but like it's a quarter pipe sort of like thing that goes into another area, like the oh yeah, it goes into the area where the two pool sort of things are with the diving boards. And fun fact, in levels that have the TV screens, I think there's only 3 of them in this game. Each I don't know how many people know this, but the videos actually change with each song in the soundtrack. Some of them being skating videos, and some of them actually being like the music video for the song. Granted, not synced up to the song, obviously. That would be a bit too much effort. Probably wouldn't save too much data as well. But overall, pretty decent. Like, this game, it's filled with decent levels, except maybe like Roswell and Streets. Like, the last 2 levels are like the worst ones, I would say, in this game. And now we're on to Mall, which this one's like the first 3 starting levels are like the perfect starting levels in a video game, in my opinion at least, because you have warehouse, good tutorial level, school, good way to get used to ollieing and grinding, and then you have Mall, which is the one of 2 like downhill sort of levels, because someone corrected me on this, but it wasn't Mall one of the levels that was in the original sort of idea of Pro Skater, where it was going to be a downhill skating game, and then you would have the like skate park level at the end of it. I could be wrong about that. I know Downhill Jam was a part of that, but yeah, you basically it's just a straight downhill level. You start in this weird area with the like half pipe, and then you go down. You start in the mall level, and this one introduces diverging paths in a level where you have like the middle route, which it's a lot of verticality, and then you have the right route where that also has verticality, but you stay up in the air, whereas the middle one you go down at a certain point. It's a pretty good level to like test like getting used to how the like all these system works in the game with grinding and stuff like that. Like going to the right route, taking that leap off the ramp and getting onto the high rail. It really tests your skill, at least what you would know this early on in the game. It's a pretty decent look at your skill. I keep saying that. But yeah, basically, good level to test your skills, at least early on in the game. It gets you ready for some of the other stuff you're going to see. And then you get the Chicago skate park level, which there's not a lot to say about this. There's not a lot to say about this. It's a skate park. That's it. All it has is some like hubba ledges. Then like you have a bowl, like, and I was wrong. This one has like an actual bowl, sort of like pool thing going on. Then there's a quarter pipe. Then there's a few ramps on one of the other side, like the other side of the level. It's just a basic skate park. It's the one of the levels with the screen display in it. I mean, it's okay for a competition level. There's not much to say. All right, on to my least favorite, or not my least favorite. Streets is my least favorite, but one of my least favorite levels in this game, Downtown. I do not like this level whatsoever. I mean, it's not a terrible level. It's perfectly okay, but man, all the like purely flatland levels that don't have any like, because like the geometry in this one's more complex than like say School 2, Warehouse, or Mall. At least though, well, Mall's a downhill level, so you don't have to worry about that one. But Downtown isn't. Downtown is a flatland level with no like actual clear. Probably sounds stupid, but like no clear like areas that you can skate. You have to like sort of figure it out yourself. Unless you do the secret area with the rooftop, that's like the only half pipe or quarter pipe I can think that is actually in this level. And you can like do consistent vert tricks. You can only really do like street stuff in this level. Even then, in Pro Skater 1, that is like insanely difficult mainly because of the physics of like tricks and the fact that you can't manual in this game. All right, on to one of my actual favorite levels in this game, Downhill Jam. This is like this is the iconic level from this game, well, along with Warehouse, obviously. This is like the one level, if you show people who don't know what Tony Hawk is, they'll probably recognize this level anyway. The name gives it away. It's just a downhill. Like it's the second downhill level in this game. Which, if I remember correctly, this is the one that's actually from the original prototype. Or the original idea of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, where it was the downhill racing thing. And it's a really good level, just really difficult to navigate. Sometimes I can understand why they would put it this low, because a lot of the challenges you have to pull off are pretty difficult, especially in this game specifically, with the old clunky physics. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty decent level. Yeah, I really should have prefaced this that I'm not going to have a lot to say about the competition levels, because up next is the Portland competition level. It's actually got to be one of my favorite competition levels, mainly because of like the aesthetics of it with the graffiti and the bowls and all that. Feels like an actual lived-in place versus some of the other levels that they have in this game. And then after that, you got Streets. My least favorite level in this friggin' game. I hate it. It is the worst level in existence, dog. This is the one level that should have been like cut completely. They should have made a whole new level instead of this. It is bad. This is the lamest level. Not to mention, it's the second to last level. So this is like, sure, it might be there to test your skills, but it sucks. It's the worst. There's a reason it's like the one level, aside from whenever Pro Skater 1 gets remade in full, that it's never appeared in another game, whereas like 90% of this game has appeared in most of the other games, besides this level and like Roswell. Like, there's reasons to that. And now, we have Roswell, which it takes place in fucking New Mexico. Well, that was a funny bit, wasn't it? Breaking Bad reference. Again, a competition level. I don't have much to say about this, considering that literally the competition levels in like this game are just literally, oh hey, look, there's a bunch of quarter pipes and half pipes here. That just do vert. That's the versus like the later games where it's mostly like spam tricks as much as you can, and like Pro Skater 1, it's like just do vert. Vert is the only way to get points in these levels. Seriously. And honestly, I'd give this game a 7.5 out of 10. It's not terrible, but whenever you get back to it from like the newer games, it feels completely like off compared to how like fast and smooth. Like even like Pro Skater 2 feels completely different from this. This is just, it's clunky, man. And let's talk about the soundtrack for a second. This is, I think, the only game that exclusively is punk rock with the soundtrack. Like, punk rock and metal with the soundtrack. There are no, like, hip-hop songs on this soundtrack whatsoever. Pro Skater 2 has, like, a good balance of it. And as I review the games more, we'll talk about, obviously, how more diverse they get. Except ska gets ditched by, like, Pro Skater 4, I think. Granted, because that's like when third wave ska just completely went out of style. And now that would bring us to the outro. I'm sorry this took so long. I know I don't have any subscribers who actually care, but I just thought I'd apologize because this has been taking me way too long, even personally. It's mainly because of my job and stuff, like I said in the intro. But I'm not going to announce my next video. My next video will be a surprise. It's going to be possibly another review. Probably not, because I suck at this. It'll either be a review or something, or a gameplay video. But that and... Well, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. That would be appreciated. Turn the bell notification on, or notification bell on. But, yeah. Anyways, video over.
Hey yo, Mr. White, I got drip, bitch.
Jesse, that's physically impossible. You and I both know that you don't have